Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams YouTube channel. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram. Sorry, I just forgot what I was gonna say there for a minute. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. If you're a new and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you spending time with me virtually today. So this is a special kind of episode. I am planning to recap my entire sewing handmade garment collection from 2025. I thought it would be a fun video to do just to journal for myself and for all of you if you're interested in what I made last year in terms of sewing. And this is not to say that the knitting content is not gonna be less or anything. I just wanted to also make a video. I recently made a video on all my knitted items from 2025, and I thought it would be fun to make one for sewing as well. I'm definitely gonna be back with a lot of knitting content because I have been knitting a lot. And so if you were here just for the knitting content, I'm sorry. I hope you come back for future videos. So this is exclusively going to be my sewing recap. And last year was definitely a different year in terms of sewing for me. I made a lot of garments, and for me, sewing definitely goes hand in hand with my knitting. I would like to be able to wear all my knitted items with stuff that go well with it. And I've just gone into that. I want to own a very exclusively handmade wardrobe. Not 100%. Some things I feel are not worth the effort always, and so I'm trying to figure out where I stand on how much of my wardrobe I can make by hand, because that's the goal, is to make everything by hand. I'm obsessed with that. Yeah, I think before we get started, I have some just general reflections about my sewing in 2025. I made over 40 garments last year, which is insane. I never thought that was the number. I actually sat and made a list of all the things that I made, and it was like 40 items, and that was insane. I mean, I'm very proud of myself for having made all of these clothes, but now I'm also taking a break, not like a big break, but I don't think I've sewn a bunch since the last thing I made was before December 19th, because that was the holiday party at work and I made a dress for myself. And after that, I haven't sewn much. I'm kind of in limbo because I'm trying to figure out what I want next and where I want my sewing direction to flow into. So I thought this would be a fun video to do, to sort of gather what I've done last year all in one place, and I think that might be helpful in deciding where I want to go next. It's actually a nice cozy snowy day in Pittsburgh today, so I'm glad that, and it's a Monday, but I have a day off, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to come and talk about handmade garments with you. If I had to capture my entire sewing experience of 2025 in like a phrase or something, I think it was a skill building year. I did a lot of repetitive, same garments were repeated multiple times, and in different ways and manners, so that I can get more out of a pattern, because once you get the pattern ready and cut fabric, it's nice to sort of use that effort that you put in. So okay, while I talk about that, how do I actually how do I actually cut my patterns, right? So I do a mix of getting them printed on A0 and printing them at home. So if I know that I'm going to want to make this in the near future, I send it for printing. I have used a website called pdfplotting.com. You can upload the A0 files to the website and they will send you tube rolled patterns printed on A0 paper. I do find it to be a bit expensive. By the time you send it for printing and the shipping, easily you can spend like $20-$30 extra on top of purchasing the pattern to get it printed. But I've used it here and there, especially for like items with a lot of pieces. I don't want to sit and tape that all together, so I have used the printing service, which is why I feel like once you get the pattern printed and cut in your size, it's nice to make multiples of it because you've already spent all that money doing that. The other thing I do is print at home, especially with shirts and tops and things that are smaller. I have noticed that most patterns, they try to stick within like 40 pages total of the entire garment. So they do the layer printing, so you can pick your size and then print it at home and then cut and tape it together. It's a lot of work, but I have done it for instant gratification scenarios where I want to make this top this weekend and there's no time to get it printed online or through a service. I also have used stylemakerfabrics.com is a US based fabric store and they have PDF printing. So when I order fabric, sometimes with the same order, because they have like a flat rate shipping. So with the same order, I have added patterns I would like to sew later. And so I've added it to my cart. So when I'm ordering some fabric, I just add a pattern or two for printing so that I can, sort of create a printed pattern stash. All of that so that's what I do. And then once I have the I'm not a tracer, so typically I know this might sound odd, but I do sew for other people, but most of my friends, and I don't mean this in any sort of negative way, but most of my friends are smaller than me. So when I print out my size, it kind of has the other sizes within it. So if I want to make it again for another friend, all I have to do is still use my own pattern, but I can trace out the smaller size. It's worked, and especially when I get things printed through a service, they do the A0 printing that has all the sizes in it. So when I cut out my size, it's got the smaller sizes. It doesn't always work because sometimes, the neckline, everything, they overlap. And so when you cut out a size, the other sizes have disappeared. But yeah, I don't gift sew that much. I do have some gift sewing that I will share today, but not as much as probably knitting, gift knitting that I do. Anyway, so what did I make last year? It is a possibility that this video is going to be kind of long because I made over 40 things last year, which is insane, but I'm hoping. So the way I'm going to do it is I have categorized the items by what they are, and I have clubbed them together so that if I'm talking about a certain pattern and I've made 5 of them, I'm just going to talk about them all at the same time. I'm not going to try everything on for you. I'm using pictures I took of myself when I made the garment, and unless things have changed drastically, I'm not going to do a try on, and they most likely fit me about the same since when I made them, because it's only just last year. The other thing is I might not show you everything today like show and tell. It might just be pictures sometimes, and that I've just tried to make this as efficient for myself as possible because there's so much to get through. All right, let's just get right into it. So the first category is shirts, blouses, tops. So everything tops, we're going to talk about that. So I think I started the year with the Nepheline blouse. This is a pattern by Vivian Schauchen. It's a very popular pattern, so you might know about it already. So the first Oh, another disclaimer is I have not ironed everything. This is literally out of my wardrobe. In some cases, when it was too ugly to look at for myself, I did iron them. I think I have to iron a couple pants because I've just brought the shirts out now. You won't see the difference, but I have to go upstairs, put all of this back and get like the trousers, and I might have to iron a couple of trousers. I hope I don't lose light, but we'll figure that out. So the first shirt I'm talking about is the Nepheline blouse. This is a pattern by Vivian Xiao Chen. This particular version is my first version that I made. This is in a Merchant and Mills plaid cotton linen blend fabric, I believe. Merchant and Mills is expensive, so I bought I think I bought 2 yards of it, but I think it is a wide fabric, so I was able to get this pretty little blouse for myself. I am super pleased with it. Fun fact, I wore this to an Iron and Steel conference, and they had a mural which I was painting. They got a picture of me wearing this blouse and painting the mural at the conference, and they published it in an Iron and Steel Technology magazine, which is insane, but they don't know that I'm wearing a handmade blouse. But I was like, oh my god, I wore a handmade item and I got published, but whatever. So I really like this pattern. It's a very simple pattern. You've probably heard about it a lot. I put these plum color buttons on it. I did not plan this pattern matching, I'll be honest, but it worked out so luckily for me. It has this cute little sleeve detail which kind of gets lost a little in the plaid, but I still really like the effect. And fun thing is, I wore this to work, and one of my friends who sits right next to me, and if you are a knitting viewer, I made her the Sophie hood and I made her baby a baby hat in December, so it's the same friend. She complimented me on the blouse and she really liked the sleeve details. So what I did was make her a lemon yellow Nepheline blouse, which I'm gonna put a picture. Obviously I don't have it. And she really loves wearing it, and she looks stunning in that color. Like, I think that's a really good color on her. And last year when lemon yellow was all the rage, she really wanted something in lemon yellow, and I was like, don't buy anything, hold on, I'm gonna get you something. She didn't know what I was doing, but I made her the blouse. So Nepheline blouse, super happy with it. I think it does have bust darts. It's a very A-line shape. It's very casual, but it looks good with my work trousers, and so I do wear it to work a bunch. So I made this one, I made the lemon yellow one, and then I also made one in an Indian block print fabric. I think I got this one from Blackbird Fabrics. They have a collection of Indian block prints, and I made this one without the sleeve detail, and it has green buttons on it, and I'm super pleased with this one as well. It's a very lightweight cotton, Indian cotton, and it is such a great fabric to wear for the summers. And I know this because I grew up wearing Indian cotton, and it's the best thing to wear for summers. I'm more of a cotton, linen, woven person. Towards the end of the year, I did start sewing with knits as well, but they're not my favorite thing to sew with. They have their place in my wardrobe in terms of like pajamas or something super comfortable, but to work, I do like some crisp cotton. So this is the third Nepheline blouse that I made last year. All right, so the next shirt pattern I made for myself is the Jenna Shirt. This is a pattern by Closet Core, and full disclosure, I made the Jenna only by Closet Core, but they have like a monthly crew membership, and I really like some of their patterns that they came out with towards the end of the year in 2025. So I joined their Closet Crew membership. It's like a forum. You can chat with other Closet Core members, and then also they have a fitting expert you can ask questions to, and they have sew-alongs, and I'm a new member. Like, I've just been around for 2 months, so I'm still figuring it out, but the Jenna shirt was the only pattern by Closet Coord that I made last year. So on one of my wrinkled makes, but this is a Jenna shirt. I'm gonna put a video of me wearing it, so please don't mind the wrinkles. I did not really want to iron 40 garments, so I ironed some of them and I didn't the others. So this is just a cotton I got from Hawthorne Supply Company. It's usually a store I use for quilting cottons, and I don't remember what type of cotton this is. I don't think it's quilting. It's pretty thick. And I really am glad that I used this for my first Jenna, because it's so busy that all the collar details and everything are kind of lost in the floral, and you don't know if I made any mistakes. And I don't think I did that bad of a job, but this was my first sleeve placket and everything. You can't really see anything, and I mean, there's no point of me trying to show you anything on this shirt because everything is so busy, but that means it's the perfect fabric to try out a pattern for the first time. If it's a busy floral, no one's gonna notice anything. I'm really pleased with this. There is a pocket. It's basically invisible. The one thing I will say is that my hem is coming off a little bit. When it's a curved hem towards the beginning of the year, I was not very good at them. Now what I do is I put a long length stitch around the line that I have to fold it, and that helps me fold the curved hems much better. I change my stitch length to 4, and I just put like a single running stitch along the curve at whatever seam allowance is required, and then I'm able to fold along that stitch, and the fold comes out pretty neatly. And so I think I have to go back and redo the hem of this one, but other than that, I really love this shirt. I wear it to work a lot, and it's a definite good addition to my wardrobe. The next Jenna shirt I made is the cropped version using double gauze fabric. I got this fabric at Guthrie and Ghani, which is a fabric store in the UK. I think I got it before all the shipping chaos that happened last year. Since then, I have reduced purchases from anywhere other than the US. But yeah, this I bought it like earlier last year, I think. So this is the cropped version of the Jenna. I like the pattern in general. It doesn't have any bust darts, and so I feel like it rises up. It kind of gets like, the collar goes up and I have to keep pulling it down. So I've made 4 Jennas. Have I made 4? I've made 3. Yeah, I've made 3 for myself, and I think I did cut out 2 more. So I'm gonna make those, and then I'm not gonna probably make it I've got enough of these shirts. This one I didn't really add any sleeve buttons or anything. I just fold this up. I do think the cropped version is too short for me. So next time, if I do want to make it cropped, I will have to increase the length. I put some brown buttons on this. I didn't have anything else that goes, but I really like the look of it. I'm hopefully putting videos as and when needed. So while I really love the feel of double gauze, and I was so looking forward to this, but the cropped version turned out to be too short, so I made a third Jenna. And that is in a pink double gauze. I swear I ironed this, but it didn't do a very good job. Okay, so this is another double gauze Jenna I made. I didn't make it all the way to the full length. I used the full length pattern, but I think I removed 3 inches from it, so it's a shorter version. But this is my favorite Jenna of all the ones that I've made for myself. It's also got the same plum buttons I used on my Nepheline blouse. I felt like that was the best button matching situation. It's got a yoke and everything. The collar is pretty standard collar stand, and upper and lower collar and all of that. It's been worn a bunch, washed a bunch. I wear this as my first option to any flights that I want to take in the summer. Like if I'm flying, this makes for the most comfortable outfit to wear this with like some linen pants, and I'm good to go. So that is everything about all my Jennas. And then I made a 4th Jenna, which is a gift for another friend, and I'll put a picture. She really I think she was going on a trip to Italy and she wanted like an oversized shirt, and I told her I'd make her one because every time I wore these to work she would appreciate them. So I made her a purple cotton linen, a lavender cotton linen Jenna full length shirt, and she wore it as a beach cover up, and she wore it around like over shirts, t-shirts and everything, and she's very happy with it. So I made 4 Jenna shirts by Closet Core. The next shirt I'd like to talk about is the puff shirt by Wardrobe by Me. I made this shirt for myself in a cotton linen again. You are going to hear me say cotton linen a bunch of times today. So this is the puff shirt. I did run out of fabrics, so I used a different fabric for the inner yoke. It's got like really nice soft grid, and the puff shirt, the main thing about it is the sleeves have multiple gathers. It's for a very dramatic sleeve. I really enjoy wearing this shirt. I want to say that this shirt is actually quite warm to wear. I think the cotton linen is actually pretty warm, so I wore this a bunch in the fall. It's also got a high-low hem. I used pink buttons for it, and it's got like those Mandarin collar style, which I really like. And I didn't do the best job on the collar here on the inside, and I have to go back and redo it. I think during last year, I kind of learned the best method that I prefer for making collars and how to attach the inner collar stand onto the shirt towards the end, and how to make sure it has the neatest edge around the inside. And I do the same technique where I mark the seam allowance using a long length stitch and then fold it so it's always folded along the same, it always has the same, or the seam allowance is consistent throughout the fold, and then I'm able to sew from the outside and catch everything on the inside. If you sew, you know what I mean. It's not meant to be a tutorial, so I'm trying not to go into too much detail about anything. So that was the puff shirt, and I really like that shirt. I think I want to make another one in like a linen fabric. The next thing I made is this Avid Seamstress, the blouse. This is also just a regular shirt without any bust darts. I had to increase the sleeve width on this because I felt like the pattern piece was looking too small, and it did create this extra fabric under the arm for me, but I think it looks nice enough that I can wear it and not worry too much about it. I put cute little coconut buttons on it, and let me see if I can get a decent video of it for you. There's a lot of wrinkles on it. I did iron this, I swear, but it just got wrinkled up. But that's the deal with cotton linen, is some of them are quite prone to wrinkling, and in person I don't think it looks as bad as it probably looks or picks up on camera. So those were all the blouses that I made for myself, tops or shirts and blouses all in one category. There's a couple more that'll come up in, I have a category called coord sets or coordinating sets, but we'll get to that later. Now we'll move on to menswear. So, given that I went crazy about collars last year, I made a bunch of shirts for Baljeet, and he now exclusively wears clothes that I make for him. He wears all the sweaters I make for him, and I'm sorry about the sunlight, but I can't really do anything about that. He loves all the sweaters I make for him, and he also wears all the shirts that I've made for him last year, and now he exclusively just wears what I make for him. Anyway, so I got the Fairfield button-up pattern by Thread Theory Designs, I think they're called. It's a very popular men's shirt pattern, and I made this first version for Baljeet in this beautiful linen from Blackbird Fabrics. Made it short sleeved. I had to adjust the sleeve length for him. This shirt actually kind of was the first shirt I made. I think I made this even before I made the Jenna shirts for myself. And this was my foray into collars and shirts, and it just blew my mind, just following procedure and getting something spectacular, right? I will say this is the worst collar of all my collars because there's a lot of unstitching, restitching, trying to get everything to catch on the inside. But I have to say that it also has like flat felt seams on the inside for the shoulder. But I have to say that the number of times Baljit has worn this shirt has made everything worth it. He is in love with the shirt and it's his favorite. Like I think he wears it twice a week. It's ridiculous. And I was getting worried about how much he was wearing it, and I started making him more. And once I started making him more shirts, he has quit wearing everything that he purchased at a store. So Fairfield button up. I don't have too many notes about this. It's a beautiful pattern. I put these brown large buttons on it. I'm really happy with that. I will say that the collar has only a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this, and as a new shirt maker, that was very difficult for me to do with it's such a small seam allowance. So on the future Fairfield shirts, which I'm going to show you, I just did the collar pattern pieces at the 3/8 inch allowance, and I just used that and then grade my seams. I think that was a revelation for me that I don't have to follow the seam allowance the pattern gives me, and I can use what is comfortable to me. And so I'm really glad I did that. I changed the pattern pieces for myself, and now the collar is much easier. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but it's definitely easier. The next Fairfield button up I made for Baljit is in this Indian cotton. Again, it's like I think it's a Dobby cotton. It has these really cute crosses on it. And I really love this pink, and this pink actually looks great on him. It's the same pattern. Everything is the same. My collar here is tad bit better, definitely. I also put brown buttons. I think these buttons are the same as the ones on this shirt. No, maybe, but similar. Really nice shirt. I think the linen kind of grows a bit after you make it, so that shirt is a bit looser on him, though they're the same size. And I feel like he prefers that because it got a bit looser. So I am thinking I might have to make some modifications on the pattern to adjust for his back a bit, so that cotton shirts also that don't grow as much as linen do will fit him well. But he wears it a lot, and I'm super happy with this. This is about the time I started getting better at my hemming, though it's not iron, so of course you can't see that. It's fine. Actually, before I made the pink one, I made this shirt, which is also the Fairfield, and it's in a viscose linen. This became very raggedy. I think it's the quality of the fabric, the viscose blend linen. Like it started pilling a little bit at places, and my hem wasn't the best, so the hem is unraveling a little. But I swear that he just does not want me to fix it. He loves the shirt. He tucks it in so you can't see the hem, and then he wears a sweater on it in the winter, and it's all done. Even the collar with the viscose linen, the pieces were stretching out as I was sewing it. So then I went and got some spray on starch so that the pieces don't stretch out too much. And this is what I meant by my year being skill building. As I was making different versions of the same pattern, I was figuring out different things because I was using different fabrics, and it was really fun to do that. The engineer and the experimentalist in me was very happy. I did put very funky buttons, but he really enjoys that. And I'm not very proud of this make, but Baljit wears it all the time, so I don't have a reason to be upset. And then lastly, I made him a plaid version of the Fairfield button-up. This time I did full sleeves with the placket and everything. This one definitely is the best version. However, I didn't know about plaid stretching out, so there is a, and I think I've shown this before, is the pattern, there's a slight slant on the pattern, and I didn't know that that plaid fabric has a way of doing that. So you're supposed to, rip it along the grain and then reorient it so it becomes straight and doesn't swerve as much. Swerve. I don't think that's the right word. Whatever. Distort. So while I was perfecting my pattern, I learned a new thing about plaid fabric. So that's how it goes. So those were all the Fairfield button-ups that I made for Baljeet. And then I made Wardrobe by Me men's tunic. This actually resembles what in India we call a kurta, which is like a tunic top for men, and they wear it over jeans, or there are specific type of Indian pants with like narrow legs that they wear it with. And because we are used to that, but it was very intrigued by this tunic pattern, and it's such a nice, this is a cotton linen twill I got from Blackbird Fabrics, and this has that placket style thing. I don't want to show you the inside, it's a little scruffy, but I'm very proud of how this turned out eventually. And like sleeve plackets and everything, sleeve towers, I'm super, they are like my favorite things to sew now, shirts in general. And this is pretty long, and it has a split hem, and Baljeet loves wearing this in the summer. In the winter, I think he's unable to figure out how to pair this with a sweater, and he's not about tucking in a lot of bulk fabric into his trousers, so he doesn't really wear it in the winter. But it's a good fall and summer item. And then of course I made a second one in also a linen from Blackbird Fabrics. It's very wrinkled, but that is how linen goes. It's a beautiful blue. I used fun little buttons. I have to learn how to get my buttonholes to look tidy. I do go in with a scissor and snip all the remaining, but I think with wear there's more fibers that come out of it, so I need to figure out how to get better at that. But this placket is definitely much nicer than the other one, and I really enjoyed making this particular item. I did put in a tag for myself because of course my tag is wonky. So something or the other is always a learning experience with every single garment that I made. I hope I'm not talking super fast. I feel like I'm talking super fast, but it is the need of the hour because I have a lot of stuff to go through. I think that wraps up all the tops and blouses. I need to get my notes out. We are going into territory of me not showing you stuff in person because now I want to talk about stuff that I have good videos of. So, dresses. I made 4 dresses this past year. First, I made the Fringe dress. Is it by True Bias? I think it's by True Bias. Chalk and Notch Fringe dress. Very popular dress. I made it in a viscose linen. Again, a fabric I got from Guthrie and Ghani in the UK. I really love this fabric, and so happy with the dress that it turned out to be. And I'm gonna put a picture of me wearing it. It's one of my favorite dresses to throw on, and it looks nice that I can actually wear it to like a nice, like, you know, not like a very evening event, but like if I'm going to someone's house and it's a house party or something, I can definitely wear this dress and it looks really cute. I do want to make more of these, and I do have fabric ready to go. I don't have a lot of notes about it. It fits me really well. Usually for dresses, what I have to do is pick a smaller size on top and a bigger one at the bottom. But when it's a gathered skirt, I don't always do that because I feel like the gathering has enough ease anyway. And I don't like my skirt to be too voluminous, so I keep it on the smaller size. I then also test knitted a dress. This was the Delft Dress by Madswick Studio. I think that's what it's called, Madswick Studio. I'm gonna put everything on the screen. This was a fun test knit to do. I used an Indian block print fabric for this. It turned out to be super cool with the extreme print because you can't really see the lines. It has a very unique waistband. It has multiple panels for the waistband. There were a lot of pattern pieces for this one, but what the effect the multiple waistband creates with the block print is that it has a lot of volume on it, and I love how it looks with the Indian block print because it's very similar to clothes we wear in India. Like you would usually wear it with like a legging underneath, and it would look like an Indian kurta. So I'm super pleased that I used a heavily printed fabric for this one. A lot of people made it in like a plain fabric, but I'm happy. I don't know that I would be very keen on the panels being visible as much. I prefer the effect it gave with the printed fabric. I then made the Hope dress by Style Arc in linen from Blackbird again. It's a pink gingham linen, and this is turned out to be one of my favorite dresses that I wore last year. It is so comfortable. It's a good travel dress. And I did make a video on the sewing. It's like a sewing vlog I made last year when I was making the Hope dress. So if you watch that, you already know about this dress. It turned out to be one of my favorite. I do have another Hope dress cut out already. I just haven't sewn it. And then finally, I made the Kielo wrap dress for the holiday party in December. I used a velvet fabric for this. This is my only polyester garment essentially, but I mean, of course, it's velvet, so it has to be kind of a synthetic fabric. It's a stretch velvet I purchased from Mood Fabrics, and it was so easy to sew with. There was no point of ironing it because ironing does nothing to it. I tried to even make the belts with like interfacing, but the interfacing came right off. It never stuck onto it. So I could have used sew-on interfacing, but to be honest, it didn't really require any interfacing. The belts are perfectly fine without it. The fabric has just such a good recovery that it doesn't wrinkle. It doesn't like, you don't need to iron it. It's just very nice. I did make an error on it. I did not follow the nap of the fabric, and the naps on the front and back are opposite, which was a rookie mistake. I think it's a rite of passage with velvet sewing, but this pattern turned out to be the best pattern to actually do that on, because the front and the back are one whole panel, and if it was like a coord skirt or something and I had one panel reverse, it would be more obvious. But this one, it almost looks like a design feature. I'm fine with it, and no one during the evening dimly lit party was able to tell that I messed up. I actually got a lot of compliments on that dress, and I think I'm super happy with it. I would like to make the Kielo dress in just printed net fabrics that I can wear to work, because this is specifically an evening wear. I'm not completely convinced that I love sewing with stretch fabric. I'm not very good at like it took me a bit of time to get the neckline properly done, and it irritates me when, like, you know, I have to stretch one thing and not stretch the other. I'm not very good at that. I think I just need to practice more, but yeah. Now we'll go into skirts. I made only 2 skirts last year. One is the Maeve skirt, and I think this is a true bias pattern as well. I made this in a cactus chambray denim-y fabric. It turned out to be really cute, but I really wish I had saved that fabric to make a shirt out of it. I really want a chambray shirt, and I'm unable to find that color and style of fabric anywhere right now. I need to hunt more for it. I think I had this fabric from like so many years ago. I don't remember what website. I think it was like fabric. It was a website called fabric.com, and I think Amazon owns it now. So I don't really want to go on there and look for it anymore, but I really like the skirt. It's very easy to throw on. I put a split on one side of it, I think. And it's a simple summer skirt that I sewed, and I don't have a lot of notes about it. It's nice. Then I also made a skirt called the Space Skirt, which was a pattern, first sewing pattern that Heidi Kirmeyer, who's a knitting pattern designer, Heidi published her first sewing pattern, and it's called the Space Skirt. It's a paneled skirt. So basically, based on your measurements, she tells you how to cut out a single pattern piece, and then you have to cut I think 2 pattern pieces. So it's got 3 panels in the front and 3 in the back, and she tells you how to figure out what the pattern should look like based on your own sizing. So it's a very custom design, and it has panel side pockets. The reason I can't show you the skirt is I've put all my summer clothes like away, and have to go retrieve it and it's going to be a pain. But I have pictures, so I'm going to put that on the screen and I hope that's okay. There's just so much to get through. I thought some of the stuff is okay not being shown in person. So I really enjoyed making the pattern, and I really liked that I didn't have to piece or print or anything, and I could just take a large tracing paper and just figure out my measurements and figure out the pattern pieces, and I was good to go. So I really like, it's a very simple skirt I made in a navy linen, and I can wear it with so many different tops that I have knit or sewn last year. So those were the skirts. Now we'll get on to the coordinated sets. So I made a bunch of coordinated sets this past year, and I made a few of them for gifting. So the first one I want to talk about, and I don't have this one with me obviously, is a gift that I made for my friend who went to Italy, by the way. So she got the Jenna Shirt. I made her an Ogden Cami and the True Bias boxer shorts as a set. And it is a really cute set. It was like a holiday thing, right? So she can wear the two together, separately, however she wants. She actually wanted the boxer shorts, and I had 2 yards of this gingham linen from Blackbird Fabrics, and I made her the shorts, but then I had a bunch left over, and I said, can I make you a cami top with it? And she, obviously, she was like super happy about it. So I made her that. I will say that it has a facing on the inside, and the facing is kind of short. Next time I would make the facing all the way to the length of the top, or at least a couple inches short of the outer fabric, because I think the facing kind of weirdly ends around your bust line or something, and depending on how big your boobs are, like it might not be the best way of having an inside facing. Like it could be odd. So having the inside facing to be longer would be the way to go for next time. I do want to make the Ogden Cami for myself. I've just not figured out in what fabric and all of that. It was a fun make. I then made very dear friend of mine, I made her, she wanted pajamas to wear at home, so I made her the Albie Pants by Style Arc and Ashton top by Helen's Closet. I've made a bunch of Ashton tops for myself over the years, so I thought it would be a good pattern, simple pattern to make for my friend as well. However, she visited me. I made her both the things, and I sent the pants, fit her great. But then she visited me afterwards. I had to take in the top a bunch for her, because even the Ashton top has a lot of ease on it, and she didn't like that much ease. So I did have to remove the facing, take the top in, and then redo the facing a little bit. But it was fine. Not too bad. I had fabric left over. This was just a cotton gingham I got from Style Arc Fabrics. I had fabric left over, and I used that to make her baby romper by Omi Oh My Sewing, and it turned out to be super cute. She sent me pictures of both of them twinning in the outfits that I made for them. So I was very happy with it. My friend wants more pajamas, and I have fabric for her as well. And I think this time I'm gonna make matching trousers for her daughter. Like whatever fabric I use for her pajamas, I'm also gonna make trousers for her daughter. So I have it all washed and ready to go. I just haven't had the mojo strike yet. The next gift coordinating set is I made for a different friend of mine. I know I have sewn for all sorts of friends at this point. I made my friend Chanterelle pants and a crop top. It's called the Tailor Crop Top by Loveless JB. It's on Etsy. The Chanterelle pants fit my friend really well, but the crop top was a little iffy. I did take her measurements and made it exactly, but she wasn't here when I was making it, so I wasn't able to try it on her. And I think it's the same thing, like crop tops with people with bigger boobs, like it doesn't always work out exactly well, especially if they're not around to try it on. It has like cute little ties on the top. It looks really cute in a picture, but is it practical? Perhaps not. So next time she comes, I asked her to bring it with her, and I'm gonna try and fix it if I'm able to. But I did. She loves the pants and she wears the pants all the time. Then I made a Chanterelle pant and Ashton combo for myself, as a pajama for the house. I love the pants. I will say that I don't wear a sleeveless top around the house as much. I am very cold on my arms, and I prefer having sleeves on, so I don't think the shirt worked out as well as I would like it to. It looks very cute together, but it's just not very practical. And this is what I mean when I make something for a specific idea I have and then it doesn't work out. Like it's nice to have items that I wear and I don't wear, like have a list of those things and the reasons why they didn't work out, so that the next time I'm aware of that. I don't want to make PJs for myself, but I think I'm gonna make something with sleeves on the top and full length pants. I don't wear shorts around the house because the cats sit on me a lot and they scratch up my legs if I have short pants. Plus I feel cold. I'm always cold. It's odd. Anyway, I think I had too much coffee this morning. Where was I? Okay, yes. Chanterelle PJ plus Ashton by Helen's Closet. The final coordinating set I made was an outfit I made for a friend's wedding. I did talk about this on my knitting episode when I made it back in September. This turned out to be a spectacular make. I made it in a viscose twill from Stone Mountain Daughter Fabrics. It's an Atelier Brunette fabric. Beautiful, beautiful fabric. So nice to sew with. I made the Chanterelle pants, which fit me really well because the view A of the Chanterelle fits me perfectly. I love that. I made multiples of those. And the top was the Romy wrap top by Pattern Scout. It was a labor of love. There's a lot of details on it that were a bit confusing, but Pattern Scout has a video, sew along video. It's not very it's quick, the video, but I had to pause and rewatch certain sections so I could get it right. I'm gonna pause here. The cat is digging under the quilt. He just wants me to make him a cave, so that's what I'm gonna do. I do love how the Romy wrap and the Chanterelle worked out together. They look really cute. I would like to make another pair of Chanterelle in black maybe, so that I can wear the wrap top with that as well. But I haven't had an opportunity to wear this outfit again, and I'm kind of upset about that. I do want to wear it again. It turned out really nice, and it was very nice. It was not the main wedding, but like a cocktail event the day before. And so I wore it for that and really, really pleased with it. All right, so I think we finished everything that I had planned for these sections. Now we have to move on to jackets and trousers. So for this next section, I did a little bit of a wardrobe change. Those of you who watched I think this episode came out, the knitting episode was in December. So I'm gonna talk about my Ilford jacket. This is the only jacket I sewed last year. This is a pattern by Friday Pattern Company, and I made this beautiful Ilford jacket out of some corduroy that I had from Blackbird Fabrics again. I had made a pair of Chanterelle pants in this corduroy, but being so heavy and Winslow culottes. I made the Winslow culottes in the Chanterelle, but this fabric is heavy and the Winslow culottes are an elastic band, and so it didn't just work out. Like the elastic was folding inside, and no matter what I did, it wouldn't stay up. Even though it was like non-roll elastic, the fabric was that heavy. So what I did was I ripped out, I cut off the waistband and everything, and I had some more fabric left over from having made the Winslows. So I repurposed the entire fabric to make the Ilford jacket, and it turned out to be really, really nice. I wore it a lot during the fall. I lined it with some 100% rayon, and this is a gift that Selma of Little Big Knits gifted when we met last time at a Rhinebeck a couple years ago, I think. I can't remember how long ago it was. I'm very, very happy with the Ilford jacket. It is a very oversized, so there's like the fitting itself is not that much. It's not very well fitted, as I was saying, but I think as a jacket and as a first jacket to learn how to make lining and everything and how to attach lining to the inside of the jacket, like it was a really nice make. I wore it a lot. It's pretty warm. Like if I wear a sweater, the benefit of having it be this oversized is I can wear sweaters inside and then layer this on top, and it works perfectly. It does look quite big on the top, but I made a size that fits my butt, and I'm happy with it overall. Like I have no regrets about this. This is a really nice jacket, and I would love to make more jackets this year as well. Yeah, that was the Ilford. And now we'll get into trousers. So this is like a interesting topic. I am not thoroughly convinced that I had a great year for trousers, but that being said, I did make zippered trousers for the first time last year. So it all started with me wanting to make clothes for work. And I have taken, just before sitting down and bringing all my trousers out, I took videos of all of them, most of them, to show you how they look on me. I apologize if they don't look the best. I do want to show the items to you in their natural habitat. I did iron them, but I want to sew with twill and cotton so much. I don't know what to do about the wrinkles. If you don't use a lot of spandex, elastane, or whatever gives it stretch fabrics, you do end up with a bunch of wrinkles, and I don't know how to get around those. So I think I'm still learning. I think I'm gonna sew with a bunch of suiting fabrics this year to see if they hold up better, but twill for me wrinkles a lot, and I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, the first pair of pants I made were the Pinyon pants by So Liberated. I made these in a gray cotton twill, and they have like these outside patch pockets, and I did the button loops, I did the zipper. This is not my best zipper. This is my first zipper, and it is definitely awful. There's some crotch details that I'm not gonna show you in too much of too closely. And even I'm very proud of having made this pant, and I didn't like the color of this gray when I first received the fabrics, so I thought this would be my working or wearable toile. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. So it's a wearable mock of the Pinyon pants that I made. So Liberated block fits me really well. Usually these pants are meant to be wide leg and kind of loose, but my biggest error on this was underestimating how much pants relax after wearing. So the waist has stretched out so much that I cannot wear it anymore, and wearing it with a belt just looks like stupid because everything bunches up and it's too loose for me to wear it now. So while this was supposed to be a wearable mock, I was only able to wear it for like 4 or 5 times before it stretched out, and then I couldn't wear it anymore. So it was a good like zipper learning experience, but overall a fail because I can't wear it. And I can go in, undo the waistband and bring it in, but I don't like the gray as much, so I'm not inclined to do that. I have to figure out what I should do with these pants. They are the right length though. Some of my pants I feel are not the right length, and they are like riding up when I sit down. And I don't know that I feel the same way about like ready to wear clothes. Like, do they ride up as much and show as much of a sock when I sit down? I can't remember. I feel like I don't wear ready to wear clothes anymore. I don't remember what's what. So those were the first pair of pants that I made. The second one I made is a cotton twill Falconer pants, and this is a pattern by Helen's Closet. And this is by far my most favorite trouser. I'm using pants and trousers interchangeably based on where in the world you are. I know they mean different things for you, but to me they mean the same. So sorry about that. I am talking about outerwear trousers. So the Falconer trousers are a barrel leg shape. They have side panel pockets, and I think the Helen's Closet zipper instruction worked out really well for me. These are definitely my favorite pair of pants. When I made them and tried them on right after making them, I thought they were too tight. Like you could see everything around my stomach area, but they did stretch out and they actually fit me the best right now. So I think when I feel a pair of trousers is too tight, that is the standard. It needs to be too tight when I first make it, and then I can wear it around the house and do stuff, and then it'll stretch out. Because of the success of the red pair, I made a denim version of the Falconer, but this denim was a mid-weight denim. It's not ironed. I tried to do like a jeans Falconer. It's a fail because they stretched out so much, because I also increased the seam allowance on this thinking the red pair was too tight, and by doing so I just set myself up for nonsense and it just became too big. I did wear them a bunch to like groceries and stuff, and ooh, wrinkles. Okay, the only reason I'm showing these to you is for accountability, because I want to rip out all the top stitching and tighten up these trousers. And that's because I really like the denim. I think I have leftover that I can cut a new waistband if I want to. And I had used this orange thread to do all the top stitching. So I really would like to redo these. And I think that is one of the tasks I'm giving myself for this year, is to redo these Falconers. And it'll be a fun experience to, you know, make most of what I have and not just jump in to make a new pattern, but fix something that I know I love. I love if I just spend it will only take me a day or two, because I know I can just, while watching TV, just unpick all the stitches and then cut out the seam allowance if I want. I just need to make it tighter. So that's that. Those were the Falconers. I then made Chanterelle by So Liberated View B. And they have a zipper expansion. So I made these black twill Chanterelle pants, trousers. They have an elastic waist in the back, and of course they have zipper in the front. And I messed up these pants because I sewed the zipper too far away from the top. Even just this much gap has resulted in my zipper showing even when I button it. And I even put 2 buttons thinking I can button it tighter and maybe that'll hide the zipper, but it does not. So I definitely messed up these. I guess I could try and fix it. I don't know, I feel like I have to take off the waistband at least around the zipper area and then fix the zipper, but I don't know if I can fix it. So yeah, I do wear these with sweaters that are long so that you can't really see the zipper, but it bugs me so much that I messed up the zipper on this one. And they fit me okay. I think I need like a full bum adjustment for these pair. They don't go all the way. They're not high-waisted, they're like mid-waisted, which is fine, but I feel like I definitely need more space in the butt. And they're not very long. Oh, I have to say, most patterns are drafted for 5'6" or 5'7" people. I'm like 5'8.5". So, and I have long legs. I think I have a shorter torso and longer legs. So I've lengthened most pants at least by a couple inches, and then I can decide how deep the hem can be. But these ones, I redrafted the bottom hem because they're supposed to be barrel shaped, and I didn't want that cuff and barrel of a view B, so I made them straight-ish leg, but they just turned out to be somewhere in the middle of a barrel leg and a straight leg and not long enough. So they're a little odd, but I think I definitely learned a bunch from having made them, things that I can do wrong and how to fix it, I guess, in the next pair. I then made an orange pair of lander pants. This is a pattern by True Bias, and I think this definitely fits me really well. This is a stretch corduroy I purchased at Style Maker Fabrics. I did put like one of my cactus chambray skirts. I used that for the pocket lining. These turned out really great, except for the fact that I think they're too long in the crotch. I graded between sizes 18 and 22, but I used the lengths for the size 22, thinking that's what I needed, but I didn't really. So I needed lengths for size 18, but I needed 22 in the hips, if that makes sense. So while this pair is really great and I do wear it a lot because they fit very comfortably, they have a stretch in them, they have like back darts and everything. It does stand out to me that it's so high in the waist. So I don't know if I should go back and like cut the waist. I don't think I will. I made them. They look really nice. I don't think I'm gonna change anything. So because of the success of those lander pants, I made another pair of blue landers. This is a 12 fabric, and this also has a bit of stretch in it, not as much as the corduroy version. But these fit me rather well, except there are some drag lines happening, and as you can see, I changed the pocket on this one. The lander pants come with the outside patch pocket. I used the pocket piece and tried to draft myself an inside pocket, like a pocket bag type. But I made some error in where I sewed on these. There are drag lines that appear in the front, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix them so that on my next pair that doesn't happen. And you can again see that even if I iron this a lot, it wrinkles. I don't know how to get around that. I still wear them to work. It's fine. I do not wear them if like clients are coming in or I have to go to a conference. I still wear ready to wear pants for that. But I am hoping that I'll eventually get where I need to be with clothes looking good enough for me to wear them to work, to any kind of meeting to work, basically. And then finally, I did make a pair of Hudson Pants by True Bias. And these are like pajamas that I wear around the house. They are made out of some fleece back sweatshirt fabric, and they are so comfortable. As you can see, they have elastic waist. They're supposed to have drawstring, but I just omitted the drawstring. This was definitely a thick fabric to sew with, and I wasn't able to the finishing is iffy, but I think with stretch, because it doesn't unravel, like I'm fine with it. They're pajamas. They fit me really well. So I do want to make more of these Hudson pants, and I've bought fabric that I can use for pajamas, but it's not going to be as thick, so it's going to be easier to sew with and put through my machine. I love the pockets. They look like they need so much effort, but they really don't. It's a very simple pair of pants or trousers, and they have a cuff at the bottom. And I really love these. They are really, really nice. I think that's that. That was all the stuff that I sewed last year, minus a few things here or there which I may have omitted because I didn't have either pictures of it or I really don't want to try it on. It doesn't look good. This is at least 95% of everything that I made last year. So I think my shirt making was more successful than my trousers sewing. I will definitely not stop making clothes. I do want to get to a place where I am able to make whatever I want and it looks good enough for me to wear it out. I'm very, very glad that I used, I built a lot of skills last year. I think the zippers and the collars, they're very satisfying to do. I do get, I'm not always in the mood for sewing garments, but the best thing about being able to sew, and I quilt as well, is that whenever I'm not in the mood to make garments, I just quilt. And I did make 6 quilts last year. 3 of those, I finished 6 quilts last year. So 3 of them were queen size quilts, 1 for a friend, 2 for myself. and 3 were gift. I think 2 baby quilts, which are still pretty big. I don't make baby quilts to be tiny. They're 60 by 60 inch at least. 2 baby quilts and 1 gift quilt, which is a twin size quilt that I made for a friend. So I did a bunch of sewing last year. I think it was a good year in overall, like, hand making kind of shenanigans. All right, I think I've reached the extent of my brain working so that I'm not rambling. This was a very long effort for a Monday morning. Good thing I'm off today. Now I have to sit and edit, and editing is going to be so much work because I want to put pictures and videos of all the things that I talked about. But I hope this was useful or interesting for you. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end if you're still watching. If this is the first video of mine that you ended up watching, thank you so much for being here. I do plan on doing sewing content, but it's going to be more embedded into my knitting, sewing, quilting, everything that I make. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and please let me know what you think. If you have suggestions, if you have tips, if you have been sewing for a while and you have some thoughts on some of the things that I've made that you would like to share with me, I am always willing to have conversations about handmade stuff. And let me know if there's a pattern you think I should try. I do have a bunch of patterns on my list of things I want to make this year. I'm not gonna go into 2026 plans because frankly I'm exhausted. Hauling all my clothes downstairs and then putting them back and then now trying everything on. It was the whole thing. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some lunch. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and next one's gonna be a knitting episode for sure because I've been knitting away. All right, until next time, stay safe and happy making. Bye.